everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Will, if y'all are new here. Today I'm going to take y'all on a little tour on my property. We've been living in this house here for about a year, but on down the way, which we're going to walk to in a minute, is a little place that was a loading dock at one point, and I kind of worked on that property. I didn't have any electricity or water, but I was living in another house, and I drove down here and I would work on that forest garden down there. And I've been doing that, working on that one since about late 2017. So it's about 5 years old at this point. But we're gonna start here by the house, which is now the zone 1. As I said, this was pine trees before my house was here. All of this was pine trees. And this property was cut in June of 2020. So we're just now really getting into these areas, and we're really just now starting to get some good soil here. We don't have decent soil really on this property. It's just really tight, expansive clay, and there's no topsoil here. In some areas there's a little bit of sand and then it's clay, but most of the areas there's no topsoil. So we've been working with a back to Eden method mostly in the zone 1 area, because we have access to a lot of mulch. A lot of the systems, especially around here, are based on deep mulch systems. We're expected to have a frost, I think, not tomorrow, but the next day. So a lot of this stuff is going to be really knocked back by then. So I figured I'd get one last tour on what it looked like green before that happened. What you're looking at right here, this was like our little herb garden for the year. It was last year as well. I'm going to cover this up with a tarp in probably a couple weeks or so, once all this stuff dies back. Well, anyways, some Mexican tarragon, purple basil, some cayenne peppers that have dried up and shriveled. We're not really doing too much in this garden anymore. The eggplants rotted on there. Eggplants grow good here, but we don't eat a lot of eggplants. But put some recipes down at the bottom. Anyways, these zinnias are really beautiful. These are volunteer zinnias popping up. Lots of basils. This right here is pineapple sage blooming. Taylor says she can smell this stuff, but I cannot smell pineapple sage. But it has a beautiful blossom to it, deep red. There's a lot of pollinators on it right now. More peppers. This is a ever-bearing mulberry. This tree is only like a year and a half, and it's, if you stand it up straight, it's like 15 feet tall. This is an Illinois everbearing though, which is supposed to produce fruit like 3 months out of the year in the summer. This is lime thyme. Piece of cardboard there. I use a lot of cardboard too. Lime thyme, lemon thyme, sage, more lime thyme, lemon thyme again. And this is a variegated basil. We use a lot of that in replacement. This seems to not bloom. Like Genovese basil blooms really quickly. I mean, look at it. It hasn't bloomed. So we really like this variegated basil for the south. More zinnias here. That's beautiful, isn't it? It's probably the thumbnail right there. Muscadine vine. We got a bunch of yellow muscadines off that. Or that might be scuppernongs. I can't remember which one's which, but those were really sweet and good this year. We have a red bone hound dog. He's actually locked up right now because it's deer season. He'll run around and get shot. But we had to lock him up because he kept eating, or not lock him up, but we had to lay down the law on him because he kept trying to eat the muscadine. He was just picking off the muscadines off a vine with his mouth like a human being. But dogs aren't supposed to eat anything in the grape genus. And they're Vitus, I think, is the genus. They're in the same genus as grapes, so we had to get on him about that. This is about a 3 or 4 year old thyme plant right here. We had it at my previous garden, and we moved it down here. More purple basil, sage, a lot of herbs. This is mostly our herb garden. This right here is a prickly pear cactus. That fruit's probably good. I don't really know really much to do with it. It's got a lot of seeds in it, but maybe I need to take that and take the stickers off, and I don't really know. Y'all let me know if y'all have ever had prickly pear fruit and what to do with it. Get that later. These are my terraced mulch beds. There's nothing in these. These are going to be, I did a video on this recently, but all this is going to be like berry bushes, maybe some dwarf figs, pineapple guavas. I don't know. I can maintain this area really well. I can ride the lawnmower through here, and I just need to weed eat the edges, you know, once a month in the summertime. But yeah, this is a really good system. This is what we're going to do on a lot of the property. But I want to make it manageable where I can run bush hogs through here, because in the south, man, things just grow up so quickly. It's hard to manage a lot by hand. And we have 10 acres that's mine here, and then probably another 20 acres that I can do this system on. So way down the line, we'll eventually get into some really large scale stuff. This area is a circle drive. I've done it, like I said, we've done a bunch of videos in this area, so I'm not going to go too much more in depth with that. Take a look at these dahlias. They're beautiful. Deep purple. Isn't that gorgeous? They're a weird plant. They seem to be struggling here, but they put on some good flowers. This is I always call it an Indian fig cactus, but I'm not really sure. They have really good pads. They're better than the prickly pear, I think. But look at the thorns on them suckers. Some strawberry plants and some onions. When we get broken bowls and stuff, we just put them out here in the garden, like half bury them like that. I need to bury that one over there. It looks kind of junky. But some sort of brassica right here with strawberries growing underneath it. This little area right here has actually been mulched for a few years now. And once you mulch it for a few years, it gets to a point where after a few mulchings, it gets a lot easier to maintain grass and stuff. These are all some irises. I used to work testing soil for septic systems, and I would be in the middle of the woods and I'd find old irises around old homes. That's how a lot of times you know there's an old home site there, is there be irises or daffodils or like a eucalyptus tree. If you just see a eucalyptus tree randomly, you're like, somebody definitely lived here. But I have a lot of irises that just came from random old homesteads in South Carolina. So that's pretty cool. I just remulched this swale the other day. You can see I got half of it mulched. It's like a snake. It goes like that. I need to come in here and mulch around. See, this is a nice, beautiful thyme plant right here. I need to come pull the weeds around it and mulch. I love this time of year because you can finally catch up with things again. Rosemary's coming out right here. Another rosemary. This is going to be another little swale area right here. Or it is a swale / terrace bed. That is, I'm going to put perennial plants right here, but it already does have some perennials. There's asparagus. This is papalo. It grows wild here now. This is cilantro replacement herb, but it competes with weeds here now. I didn't plant this, it just pops up. These little pods right here turn into like dandelion, and they fly in the wind and they just go everywhere. That whole bed right there is papalo. This is a goji berry. Asparagus. The end of my management is right here. And then, hey kitty, what you doing? Tail's all fluffed up. Just a little tomato, volunteer tomato. There's the popolo again. See how it's just taken over this bed. This is where I originally had it, and now, I mean, it overtakes weeds. So an amazing herb for the south. I did a whole video on this as well. Ruderale, I think, is the genus. But yeah, here's my annual garden. You can see the comfrey's going crazy right there. I'm not going to go in there right now, but the okra, I quit picking it. We couldn't do anything else with it. It hasn't produced much new stuff anyways. You see a lot of it's just going to seed. I actually have to go out here and collect seed pretty soon, but got a lot of okra. What we're going to do is probably after it gets cold and all this stuff dies back, I'm going to go in here, cut all this stuff, and then I'm going to remulch the whole thing besides the asparagus. This is asparagus right here. I'm just going to weed it, but I'm going to remulch all these. This is a tiered garden as well. Like it shoot, boom, boom, boom. The slope's going that way. So all the water holds up really well in here. I gotta have some beautiful soil in this annual garden now. Really proud of that. But you can see we're going around the house. We started up over there, and now we're going around. And this is like a 3-dimensional fence. This has worked really well for me. But you see, this wire's right here, but there's another wire going back here. What happens is deer come right here, and they don't really want to. They can't see these wires. They don't jump in there. I mean, it's worked for 2 years now. I haven't had any deer in there. So, there's wind chimes from Grace Frost. Shout out. Yeah, there's the annual garden right here. Now this is a gigantic terrace. I don't know if y'all can notice it. I need to cut the grass right here. But it goes whoop, and it's like, I mean, there's probably 3 or 4, more than that, probably 5 or 6 dump truck loads of mulch right here. And I wanted to do a high tunnel, but now I think I want to do like a huge trellis going right here, because it's completely flat. I actually need some mulch right here, but we're walking on like a foot, or I mean, that's like almost 2 feet of mulch. I mean, it's hard to see on this camera, but I mean, this is about a 60-foot long. I think it's about 60 foot long. Just a giant terrace, just full of beautiful topsoil in here now, because it's been about a year that this has been here. Once again, end of management right here. And just some big old cedars and stuff that I got to build a wood shed. I need one more wood shed over here. So, little greenhouse. Doesn't have anything in there right now. A nice, what did Maya call it? Solar closed dehydrator. Yeah, wood shed. I'm gonna put another wood shed right here. This pole's gonna be a corner, and it's gonna be like a mirrored wood shed right here. But yeah, now we're back over here. I'm gonna put a tree right there in that little spot. That's that Apollo patch again. I've been working on remulching around the house. As you can see, this is what the ground is right here. I don't want to put any mulch right here because we actually drive through here a lot. We're gonna do a burn pile right there. That's what that is. But anyways, I've been working on remulching this, and I'm actually going to probably plant that out. That's just compost we threw right there, but I'm probably actually going to mulch this out. I'm not going to put food plants around the house. I'm just going to do like more aesthetic plants. Here's a Meyer lemon. Looking good. I need to move that in the greenhouse soon. It's a beautiful rose. We just got this from a country store. Let me know what y'all think this is, because I don't know what it is. I don't think... tag on it. Yeah, it's a beautiful rose. It actually has a nice scent too. Let's see, it actually does have a tag on it. Double Delight Hybrid Tea Rose. All this is just mulch sitting right here. Couple lavender plants. This right here is a I think they call it a banana shrub or something, but it doesn't have any fruit on it. It has these flowers on it. They smell like the sweetest banana you've ever smelled in your life. We had one of these when I was a little kid, and I actually found one the other day. There's the blossoms right there. The yellow rose my grandma got me. They actually sent her the wrong roses, but that's beautiful nonetheless. These were supposed to be climber roses. She also got me these, but I'm not really sure. I think they're still like the bush. I'm not sure though. They got a little pink in them. Right here is my drain field, my septic drain field. Not really sure what I'm gonna do right here. I think I'm gonna spread this mulch out and do, I would like to do like cut flowers or something here. The drainage pipes for the septic system, they're about 3 foot down. I could probably plant annuals here and be okay, but you know, there's some little yarrows popping up around this bird bath, a little bench. And compost toilets are illegal in South Carolina, just in case y'all are wondering why I don't use a compost toilet. You permaculture folks out there. And we're back at the herb garden. So I would consider this food forest like a zone 4 almost. I mean, it would be a zone 5 if I wouldn't have had actually done work in there, but I go in there every now and then and actually do work. But it's so far away from my house that it's not managed. it's not managed intensively, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I have been working along this path here. We've been working on establishing some perennials. Like right here is another I think that's just a Black Beauty mulberry. A lot of the leaves are already falling off from these perennials. We've been getting nights down in the low 40s, so they start dying back. But yeah, we've been working on, that's always the best places to work, where you know you already manage this road right here. So any fruit tree that you put right here, they're gonna have to deal with pressure that's behind it, but you're mowing right in front of it, so it still has a good chance of being able to compete. Some things can compete, but like this is a pear right here. I think, yeah, this is a pear. I mean, and it can compete if you just give it a chance. I'll have to cut trees behind it and stuff, and that'll give it, that'll help it out a lot. But when y'all are establishing things, think hard about access and what you're already going to be mowing, because if you're already mowing it, that's passive management. This is a Asian pear. I love those. Another goji berry in there. The sun's getting really low. I apologize for that. This is a wild lemon tree right here with some mint all around it. Haven't got any lemons off of it yet. So this is the 5-year-old food forest. I got a lot of cactuses in here. This is a swale that goes along right here. The whole food forest slopes this way, and you saw that pond that drains right here, and it drains into this first swale, and then it drains into the second, and there's four swales that run in here, and they tear down in this garden. As you can see, these pine trees right here are the edge where it started. This was an old loading dock, as I said, so there was absolutely no topsoil when I started here, because they literally took the bulldozer and they pushed all the topsoil in the corner, but it was an open area that I could actually work. So this is a Silverberry right here. It's in the Elaeagnus family. Like all this right here would flood with water. You can see I put these bricks up and this wood up right here, and this is all like a good bit of mulch. I built up the soil using mulch, as I do everything else around here. But yeah, I've made a lot of mistakes in this garden, but that's what you have to do to learn. This is a big old peach tree right here, popping up out of everything. These are some black locusts right here. The original trees over there, and it's spread by root all over the place. But I'm a pollard these this year, and they're supposed to be good for like fence posts and stuff, and like trellising posts. But they do have huge thorns on them. The young branches do, but when they get older, they get smooth. But yeah, nitrogen fixers as well. So you pollard it and you chop and drop the cuttings and you put them on the ground. They feed the soil. But this is all black locust in here. It's dying back a good bit. There's a Ylang tree right there, that yellow one. A jujube, Ylang, same thing. That has been here 5 years. It's doing, honestly, it hasn't grown much, but I planted it way too deep. That's one mistake people make a lot with planting trees, is they plant them way too deep. Most trees like to have root flare above the ground. So I think that's what I did with that jujube, but I'm gonna buy some more of those this year. This is the top part. That pond drains out right here, and then sorry you can't see anything through here, y'all. I told you it wasn't managed. Not really an intensely managed area. This is a beautiful thornless prickly pear growing right here. You need to clear around that pretty regularly. Here's a big old pear. Once you get them above this like 3 foot height, as long as you can control trees around it, what I'll do is I'll take an extension chopper, and you see how there's briars growing up all around these trees. I'll let the briars be there because the briars protect the tree from deer antlers rubbing the trees. But like sweet gums pop up in there, and I take the extension pruners and I can get through those briars and I can trim that sweet gum down. And I do that, 2-3 years in a row, the fruit tree is going to be able to take off and it can get ahead of them. And and after this, I'll be managing these sweet gums over here with a chainsaw probably, but the pear tree is able to compete. So they just need a little bit of help. Like a pear tree goes pretty slow. It's hard to get a pear tree above that, you know, 3 to 4 foot height. Like a mulberry is great for areas where you know you won't be able to manage them a lot, because mulberries grow so fast. Peach trees too, they grow really fast, but peach trees like to get bushy. They don't necessarily like to grow up all that much. Mulberry would be a real good one. Trying to think, apples don't grow real fast either. Yeah, I'm walking through here. This side of the forest garden doesn't have much planted, but I mean, I manage these trails through here, and wild blackberries are always down here, so that's good. See, this is, for instance, this is a huge mulberry. I mean, that's probably close to 18 feet high. That one came from Hallman Farms. And this is a little pond I built when I first started. You see the cattails in there. We got a lot of cattails. That's a black willow right there. A lot of people use that for basketry and stuff. Some lilies right here. I need to pull these up this winter. I'm gonna plant them all over the place. Yeah, this is an old fire pit. I don't come down here too much anymore, but old trails run through here all around. And yeah, all these swales run out into this little pond. And we'll walk that way. I have more trees down there. Unfortunately, I am running out of light, but we'll try to get some more in. So I'm walking down past this pond right here, and it's pretty wet down here, so I tried some pawpaws. One right here. This one's been here a while, but I need to plant, I need to clear around this. There's privet all up in here, and I need to plant some more pawpaws. That privet right there is hard to get through though, but that'll be a project. But yeah, pawpaws, it's doing good now. This has been here for a long time. Another plant that I probably planted too deep, but it's finally starting to take off. But it just needs other pawpaws. Pawpaws like to be with other pawpaws. There's this, can't see it, but there's a swell running right here. See how it dips down right there? Oh, this is cool right here. This is a medlar. See the fruit? I've never actually tried the fruit before. But another thing I'm gonna really get more of here in the south, this seems to be doing really good. And with a lot of pressure too. Look at all these briars around it. As I said, I've been pruning the trees and stuff around it, but it's doing good with the pressure. So gonna do a lot more medlars. Beautiful tree. This is a rabbit eye blueberry right here. Another blueberry that seems to do really good in the south, dealing with the weed pressure. But as I said, a lot of my systems that I'm going to do next are going to be, I'm going to really address the weed pressure by addressing being able to have access near the plants, so I can go in there with a lawnmower or a bush hog and actually cut around them. That's the biggest mistake that I made with this garden. All I can get down here is a lawnmower, and I left too much wild space in between the fruit and nut trees. When I'm being intentional in the future about having an orchard, I mean, I'm not gonna have a bunch of wild space growing up, because it's just too much competition. And once you let it get past 2 or 3 years, you can't just come in here with a bush hog, because there's little trees in here. You'll tear up your bush hog. So here's a nice quince tree down here. Quinces are doing, I don't know how to pronounce that. I think I'm right. Quince. That's not a pineapple quince, but gonna get a lot more quince trees. They do good here too. They grow fairly fast as well, it seems. Excuse me, Pear. I have more pawpaws down in there. I can't get down in there right now. I'll see how high this stuff is I'm walking through. As I said, I'm very glad things are slowing down, because I can finally get in here and actually start clearing this stuff. Once you let it get away from you, it's hard to reclaim it. You got to stay vigilant with it. As far as like tree density, I've really gotten into planting them more closer than further away, to be honest. Like the whole thing about permaculture and spacing properly. The thing is, things die, they get diseased, and you can take out a tree a lot easier than you could put one there. So I tend to actually, in the future, when I spread out more of my perennial plantings, I'm actually going to be planting them a lot denser than I did in this garden right here. I did it very sparse. I tried to do about the spacing recommendations that you would get in any normal book. But yeah, I'm gonna start putting things closer together for sure. This is the second swell. We came in over here and we worked our way around, and now we're back over here on this end, that's south right there, that's east. This is the eastern side. So we started on the north end and then went around the west and came up through the south. So yeah, here's some more trails right here I've been maintaining. Gonna get in here with the scythe this year and try to plant mulberries in here since they grow so quickly. The wormwood plant, this wormwood's been down here about 3 years now. It comes back every year. Every winter I just pull up all these, or I cut back these plants around it, and then I put more mulch down, and it thrives in here. This is an Italian honey fig trying to put on figs. You're a little bit too late, my friend. Another swell right here. Another Indian fig. This is a Viking Aronia berry right here. Needs a lot more mulch. This was doing good for a few years, and recently it just seems like it's struggling a little bit, but it is wintertime. Or it's getting to be wintertime. This is interesting right here. Look at this. This is some sort of French turnip I threw down here. I threw the seeds down here like 2 years ago, and there's a little patch of it right here. Isn't that beautiful? Harvested 4 or 5 of them today. There's another fig tree right there behind them. That's probably why, I mean, I keep it clear because this fig tree's right here. So, I mean, I'm gonna start doing that in the future more when I clear around these perennials. Just throw some turnip seeds out or some brassicas and they might pop up. These are Nanking Cherries. I'm going to get a lot more of these Nanking Cherries. They put up with weed pressure, okay, but I really want to put them next to the house and see if I can get them to thrive a lot more down there. But I do have some tree cherries up here on the north end, but they haven't done much. They're still alive though, so we'll keep you updated on that throughout the years. Here's mountain mint. This is a native mint. Yeah, get some mountain mint. It goes crazy. This is it all right in here blooming. Or it's been done bloom. I think it's on the seed now, but I really like that mint. I bet it would make some delicious mojitos. I got a lot of wild lemons in here. This is a silverberry. This is the largest silverberry I have. But the last couple years it's been putting on fruit and then it never turns red. Which I've had it before off this plant, but the last 2 years it's been, I don't know why it hasn't been producing, because I have some at my mom's house that I've been getting fruit off of the past 2 years, like a lot of fruit. So now we're back by the pond, but I had one more thing I wanted to show y'all down here, that as I said, if you're in the south, you need to get this. This is a honeyberry. Of course it's looking bad because it's, you know, winter's coming. But also seems to compete well with other stuff, as you can see all around it. I think it's actually in the honeysuckle family, but it produces it looks like a long blueberry. I haven't actually tried one yet, but I'm going to order a lot more of these honeyberries this year and get to planting those out as well. The mullein plant right there. Mullei's supposed to be good for your lungs, I think. Here's a lavender right here. Competing really well with the weeds back up in here. I don't really clear around this very much. Of all things, lavender seems to do amazing here. But we're back at the Italian honey fig right there. We're kind of back at the beginning. I think I've showed y'all about everything. Goodness, that scared me. These pine trees right here, these are the only pine trees that they left on the property. And I'm gonna do more stuff in there. I think I'm actually gonna burn in here. Like start a fire, have a bunch of hose pipes, of course, and burn underneath these pine trees and succession sow something underneath it. It gets really dry under these pine forests. I'm not really sure why that is, but the soil stays very dry up in there. So I'll probably burn around it, put mulch in there, and then potentially put mulberries or something, because they do get a lot of light. I mean, you just have like the 12 o'clock canopy protected in here, really, but they get good eastern and western sun and southern sun in the wintertime. But yeah, let me know if y'all know things that might thrive really well underneath the pine tree canopy like that. I'm probably just gonna plant it out to, you know, mulberries, chestnuts, apples, plums, maybe not apples. I actually forgot to show this. That's the lemon tree that we came in and we saw, but these are hazelnuts right here. I'm gonna start doing a lot more with hazelnuts in the future. I got a couple of these this past year, and a couple of them died, but this is a European hazelnut right here. If you're European, you probably ate a lot of these. Excuse me, if you're European, your ancestors probably ate a lot of hazelnuts. It was a staple crop for Nordic folks, I believe. Gallic, Celtic. Well, all right, guys, there's the house. We're walking back to the house. I guess you'll probably get another tour when everything falls off. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. Leave your ideas in the comments. Peace out, guys. Thank y'all for watching.